And welcome back to Hannity. Now, we played the tapes earlier tonight, and it's clear that President Obama's friends in both the media and academia do everything in their power to make sure that his past remains unvetted. Joining me now with more reaction, the author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, Culture of Corruption, Michelle Malkin, Fox News political analyst, Juan Williams. Michelle, it's interesting because people are writing all over the internet today, and I took to Twitter and I said, whoa, 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 whoa. This is not a smoking gun. All it is, I think two things are revealed in this tape, and that's what we discussed. One is another radical association of the president, and I think that was not vetted by the news media. You know, Frontline can claim they ran the tape, but they didn't. They didn't run it and explain it and talk about who this professor was. And two, the media does not do their job. I want to get what your take is on all this.
Sure. Well, briefly, in short, we wouldn't be talking about this if not for the amazing supernatural force that is Andrew Breitbart.
I agree.
And one of the singular accomplishments, and I said this last week, and I'll continue to say it as we go through this election, of Andrew Breitbart and the team that has survived him and is now thriving, is the fact that they refuse to cede, C-E-D-E, the narrative to the left. And it is about time that we vet the Prez. That is now a very popular hashtag on Twitter, and I launched a new company called Twitchy.com, and I think in a way it's in the same spirit of Andrew Breitbart of continuing to forge a revolutionary space in new media to push back at the warped media. And look, this is a guy whose associations with people who believed in liberation theology, as you exposed during the 2008 election cycle, Sean, and who embraced somebody who believed in the radical extreme theory called critical race theory, which blames white people for everyone else's ills, which is poisonously anti-Semitic, has never been scrutinized by reporters who will send an entire armies down to Texas to go literally turn over rocks to try and smear Rick Perry.
That is the story. That to me is the biggest part of this. Look, I think the smoking gun as it relates to President Obama is the last 3.5 years of his failure and to get the job done. But Juan's going to disagree, but I don't want to get off topic. Here's the important thing. You see the scrutiny of all the Republicans on everything. You know, one question on Bill Ayers. Here's a controversial professor by any objective measure. The video existed. The media knew it existed. They never put it in its proper context. They never showed people. They never explained who this professor was. And then you got Professor Ogletree bragging, I don't care if they see it now, we got him elected, basically is what he's saying.
Well, first of all, I must say I thought this was going to be so much more. I thought this was going to be a smoking gun, as you described it, Sean.
I said today it wasn't.
But it really didn't come to much. I mean, I just don't see that there's much there.
The pattern of hanging out with one.
Oh, no. If you want to say,
it's Doran, it's right.
But that's not a secret. If you're talking about who Barack Obama was as a young man growing up and who his role models were in terms of prominent people in the black community who were involved in leadership of the civil rights movement. Derek Bell was a guy who was with the legal defense with people like Thurgood Marshall, Bob Carter. That's who he is. And he was very much involved, as Michelle was just saying, in terms of critical race theory, something that is radical, something I don't agree with. But that's who he was, and it comes out of his experience of going down to Mississippi and fighting the most virulent racists in this country. But that's who the man was. For him to be a role model to Barack Obama, okay, but I don't know that what is that, guilt by association?
I think the question here is, Michelle, where's the media asking any of these questions?
But I knew about it. You knew about it.
No one saw the tape. But Michelle, last word.
No. I reject this idea that we should just shrug our shoulders and buy the PBS BuzzFeed line that there's nothing new here. Stop it. This is news. They didn't want to talk about it then, and they don't want to talk about it now. Do you think it's a coincidence of timing that Barack Obama has now hired people to put out some 17-minute documentary? This is all about the Alinskyite control of who tells the story. Well, guess what, Barack Obama and Jim Messina? It is not all your monopoly anymore, and that's why they're pushing back so hard.
All right. We're going to have to leave it there.
It is not nothing. It is very crucial.
Thank you, Juan. Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate you being with us. Also